Hi, Hillary. How are you?
I'm good, Soonja. How are you?
All right. So now you've had a session some time ago. I don't know when. I forgot now.
A few weeks ago, yeah. A few weeks
Okay.
ago.
So how has it been since?
It's been good. I went because I was dealing with the sleeping disorder,
Hmm.
and it was pretty, like it was happening a lot, almost every night when I came to see you.
Hmm.
And since then, it's actually toned down a lot. I've
Good.
only had a couple nights where I couldn't get really good sleep, but yeah, it's almost like not even there anymore, which is wonderful.
Wonderful. All right. So that's good. So overall QHH session, what did you find out that's beneficial for you other than sleeping disorder?
Yeah. I found that I remember and listening to the session afterwards, I learned from my higher self that how to use energy, geometric energy,
Yes,
in a
yes,
way
yes.
to heal.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been doing that on my own, just kind of meditating and focusing on that geometric energy and imagining it and healing myself with it whenever I think of doing it lately. So
Wonderful.
yeah,
Beautiful.
it's been really good.
Hmm.
Hmm.
You also do life between life, right? Like Dr. Michael Newton's method. And then
Yes. Yeah.
tell us a little bit about that so people can understand.
Yeah, so Life Between Lives is where, a general session will, I'll take them up a staircase
Hmm.
in their mind visually. Usually for hypnosis, I'll take people down a staircase to go
Hmm.
deeper and deeper relaxed. But going up the staircase, I get them to envision their vibration getting stronger and faster, right? Their soul vibration. And at the top of the staircase, they go into a garden, and the garden is whatever they want to imagine is beautiful. And then they see a bridge, and they go over the bridge and into this blue mist. And so once they're across the bridge and in the blue mist, they may see, we call forward guides
Hmm.
or whoever's meant to come forward, right, at that time.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we call forward, and whoever comes forward, and they take them on a journey, an interlife journey, in, I guess, what you would call the spirit realm. And there's all kinds of places that my clients end up going. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing.
What kind of amazing places they have been? You can share some?
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. So I noticed that there's a lot of mountains, mountains with valleys,
Oh.
and a lot of people go to what I guess would be called the Akashic Records. It's
Hmm.
the library where, your life book and all your lives and everybody else's lives are stored. Um, and so That's pretty amazing because what I find countless times, and it just blows my mind, is that people get there and they don't even really know anything of it prior to, the session. And then they're talking about the same things as, the person from the other day or the other week, like how the bookcases look, and there's a pedestal with a one book open on it, and all this amazing stuff. One person went to a room full of tapestries,
Hmm.
where they were weaving tapestries, like life tapestries,
Wow.
and yeah, it just goes on and on. You can see your soul group.
Hmm.
You meet your soul group. And you can also go to where you planned your life. A lot of people go there. And usually it's some sort of room with screens, like the person sees it as a screen, because I think it's being interpreted through the human mind, right? And so there's this screen with your life, with all different areas of your life on it, and sometimes you're talking with other souls that you're coming to Earth with. Yeah, it's just beautiful. It's I love it. I love it so much. And the healing that happens for people when they're in life between lives is just astounding, right? Because they're actually feeling the love and feeling the peace that comes with that side. So yeah.
Healing done in the beyond, like in spirit world.
How is healing done?
Yeah, in the spirit world, what did you notice?
So healing is done in the spirit side generally through energies. So you know, we will have questions like, what is my purpose here? Are there any lessons? A lot, you know, kind of like QHHT, right? With some of those questions. And sometimes they see the council as well, this council of spirits that's talking with them and giving them information, stuff like that. The healing generally comes, though, from energy work, that just when you're there in the spirit realm, there's like almost like a download of positive, uplifting energy that just kind of permeates your body. And usually I have clients, when they get there, they cry because they're so overwhelmed with love and peacefulness. Yeah.
Well, you do QHHT and as well as life between lives, right? So I only do QHHT, so I don't know anything else. So when you do both of them, what is the difference between two?
Yeah, so so QHHT, you're taking people into past lives, right? And then through their, you know, important dates, and then you know, through their death, and then you're going to the higher self. Sometimes you know, I'll ask the person beforehand, but if they've had a big loss in their life, I've often gotten, you know, I'm constantly speaking with spirit. I don't know if you do this too, but like I'm kind of connected while I'm taking them through QHHT, right? And life between lives. And so I'll get a message usually before the session saying, okay, this person might need to go into life between lives before they go to the higher self.
Okay.
So there's been a couple times that I've done that, and there was beautiful healing that happened there too. But definitely the difference between QHHT and life between lives is you're not going into a past life generally with life between lives. Some practitioners take people to a past life, and then to get to life between lives, they move them through their death and into life between lives, right? But I don't generally do that, not with life between lives anyway. But yeah, it's still, both of them are such a deep connection to source that you know, there's definitely, they run along parallel lines, but they do have different branches that they, you know, they tend to have of different things that they do for the person.
So QHHT, normally we bring them to, no, it's not us, but the higher self. They bring the person into some sort of lives, right? And then later we go into the higher self. So, but your life between life, that is more like you just go directly to the spirit side. And then from there, you ask about past life, whichever future life, and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So bypass the past life thing.
Why pass it?
Bypass it.
Oh yes, we
Bypass
bypass
any
it.
showing
Yeah.
any, any lives, right?
Yeah, no, we go straight to the life between lives, usually like through the blue mist.
Yes.
Now don't get me wrong, like some practitioners do take people through the past life and then into life between lives.
Oh, are you
But I
allowed to
just
do that?
find, sorry?
I thought you directly bring them to the spirit side only.
I do, but
Mhm.
some hypnotists will take them into a past life, and that's how they'll get to the in-between lives, the life
Oh,
between lives. Yeah,
so
but I don't find it necessary
oh.
unless they need to learn something, right? But
Mhm. So in your
yeah.
experience, what are the clients get a benefit of? What's the difference between QHHT and LBL, life between life? We put it at LBL. Okay,
Yeah.
so what the clients are saying, what is a different benefit they get? What do
Yeah,
they
so I guess the benefit of QHHT is definitely having all those questions answered,
Mhm.
right? You've got a huge amount of questions usually that you're asking the higher self. There is some questioning in life between lives,
Mhm.
but it's not as deep, right?
Mhm.
And I'm finding, at least with my work, that QHHT, there's a huge benefit with seeing a past life, going through that, one or two lives
Yeah.
with me too.
Yeah, I
but
know.
um, but yeah, the past life has been eye-opening for people. Usually the first words, I don't know if you get this too, but usually the first words out of their mouth when they come out of hypnosis is, wow, that was weird.
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
and so I get that all the time, right? They just have they knew about past lives. Some people thought, oh yeah, I know where I'm going, and then they never go there.
Of course not.
It's always somewhere else.
Yeah. It's not us, that it's them guiding, right? I think, do you
That's
find,
right.
okay, QHHT, we have a higher self is guiding. What is the LBL is
Yeah.
guiding? Who guides the LBL?
Yeah. During your life between lives session, it's usually a guide that comes along. That guide can be um, uh, anything from a religious guide
Mhm.
to a random guide that you've never seen before, but you feel this strong connection to.
Mhm.
And it can also be a loved one that's passed away,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
So there's all kinds of guides that can take you on the journey. And I'm, much like QHHT, I'm not asking leading questions. I'm not telling them where to go. I
Yes.
say, well, ask your guide to take you where you need to go, what you need to see, right, to
Okay.
heal.
Mhm.
And the guide will take them there, and then I question around that. And then sometimes if I know in the before the session in the life between lives that they want to see their pre-birth planning, then I will say at some point, do you want to ask your guide, if if you want to ask your guide if they can take you to see your pre-birth planning. And sometimes they're not allowed seeing it,
Oh,
right?
wow.
Sometimes it's just off. It's kind of you're just not allowed to see that because it could influence how you live your life,
Okay.
right? So sometimes it's meant to be seen, sometimes it's not meant to be seen, but it's still very there's still so much to it that everyone seems to walk away happy. So that's good.
That's a key, that they got their own healings and answers, right?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What are the healings that, okay, you just said the healings done by energies, right?
Yeah.
The energy comes down and then they get the healings, right? So,
Yeah, because they're kind of in spirit form, right? And once you're in, you're there in spirit form, and once you're in spirit form, it's like everything is peaceful. Do you know
mhm.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
hmm So you've been doing both, right? Like a QHHT and LBL, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah.
what is your feelings about the difference between both? Like difference between QHHT and then LBL. What do you find the difference between?
Yeah, so I find uh there's I'm trying to think now. There's the differences in questioning,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, you come to QHHT with a lot of questions.
Mm-hmm.
Usually with Life Between Lives, you don't have a lot of questions. There's some, right? And with QHHT, you go into a past life and you move through that and you understand it. You understand why you had it, why you chose it, right? What was it, what was it for? What was it to learn? Um, Life Between Lives, you don't usually see past lives, right? Unless you're shown them while you're over there, and even then it's just snippets, right? It's not a full-fledged
Mm-hmm.
past life. You're not reliving it so much so as you're just watching it. Um, and with QHHT, as you know, you're living it, right? You're there. You're the person. So yeah. So I'm trying to think. My thoughts on each is, they have their differences, but I would say both are healing, as healing, as the other one, but in different ways, right? In different ways. Yeah.
What would be that different way though? Just a little bit more elaboration.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. So
No problem.
with QHHT, I find that the healing comes from, understanding why you're going through something, right? But you understand it from your past life, and you understand it through your questioning. With Life Between Lives, there's an understanding, but it's more of like a body healing, much like we do in QHHT, where the higher self, the subconscious heals the body. But your soul is more doing the healing in Life Between Lives, right? So you get there and you're kind of encompassed in healing energy of all, like, knowing, everything there is to know in the universe. And your guide allows you to know some things and not know other things, and only things that you are meant to know, right? The one thing that runs through both QHHT and Life Between Lives is intention, right? It's very important to go there with an intention, because that will show you what you need to know, right? And it never lets you down. It always shows you, So yeah, the healing is it's big in both areas, but one is more of like a knowing and a healing for your soul, and the other is like an understanding, like the QHHT is like an understanding and a healing for your body and mind, So yeah, that's what I find. In a roundabout way.
Sometimes for you, I think, right? I mean, do you get confused? Sometimes is it QHHT or is it LBL?
No.
sounds like it sounds so similar, right?
They are kind of similar. Yeah, a little bit, yeah, for sure.
So what was your favorite session of LBL that so far?
Oh man. I would say I'm going through here cataloging. I would say that there's different parts of different sessions that I enjoy, the most.
Tell us a few.
For LBL, there was one person had a guide that was their spirit guide, but it was an owl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so she followed the owl, and the owl brought her to. So this person, no names mentioned, but she deals with agoraphobia.
Okay.
And where you're scared to go out
Yes.
and do things, right? So she wanted to understand, her intention was to understand why she had this. Where does this stem from? How can I heal from it?
Right.
And so her spirit guide brought her to a forest.
Okay.
And oh, sorry, I should mention, she started off going into this beautiful meadow where she met this woman in this little town, this marketplace, and she had no idea who this woman was, but she felt very connected to her. And the woman embraced her and said, "You are home." And she just felt this love, right? And then she followed the owl again. And the owl brought her to this forest area, and it was kind of like a mountainous forest area, and there was this little house there, and it wasn't her inside the house, but she could tell that it was like closed off, and she could see it in a way that it was much like what she was going through with her agoraphobia. Right? She was tucked away in the mountains, in the forest, not going anywhere. This house was there. It kind of signified her situation. So the owl sat in a tree. This is a long question. The owl sat in a tree, and she saw this wolf. And the wolf took her through the path. So I said to her, well, ask the wolf to take you where you need to go, right, to understand this situation. And anyway, so the wolf took her up on this plateau to look at the house from a different angle, from up above and down, right? And so what this was to do for her own sake, right, in her mind, was to allow her to look at her situation in a different way, right? To connect, to understand, and to release any feelings that she had about it. So she looked at the house in a different way, and suddenly everything bloomed, right? It opened up, the house, lights came on, there was, a little horse and buggy that showed up, but it was beautiful, right? And so she allowed herself to understand at a soul level what this was all about. So that was just one.
That's so amazing.
Yeah, it was really beautiful, and I just love being there, as you probably know, like I just love being next to the person and taking them through this,
you go with them. You journey together.
Yeah. And so, and another person, like I said, a couple times went to the library and, found their book, and they're rifling through the pages of their life book, and, you know, sometimes there's a book on a pedestal, a beautiful, beautiful book. And so, yeah, there's been so many like different little, I know after this I'll think of some more.
I know, it's always like that, isn't it?
Yeah, you know how it is, right? They all kind of mush together after a while.
Yeah,
You've done so many, but
I know.
yeah.
So what happened to the owl who was leading the person?
Yeah, so the owl just kind of sat up in the tree and let the
Okay.
wolf then take over.
Mm.
And then we ended it. She was picnicking at the very
Okay.
end with like all these people
How about
and
that? So that means she doesn't have any of those things, right? All right.
yeah. So it was beautiful. But yeah, the owl just kind of sat in the tree and you know, there was other animals around and stuff like that, but the
Yeah.
one that stood out to her was the owl. And and the next
And
day
what?
she was the next day she told me, she called me, she said, "Oh my God, Hillary," she was out for a walk. She's never seen an owl in real life before.
Oh, okay.
And so she was out for a walk with her daughter, and they were in this forested area, and a snowy owl, just like the one in her came swooping over.
Wow.
Landed in front of them.
Wow,
landed in front
fantastic.
of them and off again. And she was just over the moon. She was just beyond,
it's
connected,
so
right?
mysterious, right? They're all connected. Beautiful.
Yeah, we're still working together on it. But
What do you mean we are still working together?
Well, I do hypnosis with her, regular hypnosis, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you do work on her as well? Still continuing on the same subject?
Yeah.
Wow, fantastic. Yeah.
So it's kind of like an onion, right? You're peeling it apart, getting down to the
we heard that a lot, right? Peeling the onions. So I mean, at the end, what is it, right?
Yeah.
Did you really peel off onion? One day I did, because I just wanted to understand that words, right?
Yeah.
So I peeled off everything. At the end, there was nothing.
There was nothing.
So I say, what are they talking about? They are peeling off something. There has to be something, the real truth, right? But at the end of, no, you literally try yourself. I literally tried peeling off the onion. Yeah. At the end of it, there was nothing. So my question is, what does the words mean actually? It means, I don't know about that. It doesn't sound
I don't know.
correct.
I'm trying to think of another way to say it. You know, like it's like you deal with one thing and then you deal with another thing and you deal with another thing and then you get down to the resistance, right, of yourself, and then you let that go because there's nothing clouding it anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well put. All right.